This is the fifth video in the series Indian English Novels. Here we shall discuss The Last Queen by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. In our series of Indian English literature, especially the novels, let us do a very recent one called The Last Queen by the very well-known writer Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. Here, the subject is mainly historical because the last queen is the youngest queen of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who ruled in North India at a time when the Britishers were ruling the country and they were taking away all the kingdoms. But Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who was known as the Lion of Punjab, could keep his kingdom intact till he was alive. But after he passed away, there was a lot of conflict. Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni takes up the story of the history of Punjab at this time, whose capital was Lahore. Today, in a divided country, it is on the Pakistan side, but it was all together in one place at that time. And the story is told from the point of view of the young queen. She was in her teens, and that is when the king, who was quite old and had many wives, found her and married her. How the marriage progressed, and then she became a mother of a child. That was Dilip Singh, also Maharaja, but he could not really rule Punjab at any point of time. The other sons, the oldest son of Maharaja Ranjit Singh and the grandson also tried to rule by sitting on the throne, but they could not succeed. These are all historical facts. Dilip Singh sat on the throne when he was just 8 years old, and the queen who's telling us the story, her name is Jind Kaur in the history books. Chitra Divakaruni uses it as Jindan, Jindan Mai, or the mother. She is used, that apparition is used throughout. And as the queen mother, she had some power. But after that, a lot of suffering comes. So we have history which can be used for writing novels. It is a fictionalized version. We don't know if the Rani felt like that or she spoke like that, but she is telling her own story in this novel. And she is telling it from the perspective of all the conflict and all the personal sufferings and feelings which she had. Such a mixing of history and fiction is very common, and it interests everybody because these are real people. If you read a history book, you will find all these people there. But the fictionalized version is more interesting because it brings the human factor. The Rani is not a Rani alone. She's a real human being, and how she lives. The most important part of the story is when it begins. This young girl, she is born in a small place and she has an elder brother, Jawahar. So Jindan and Jawahar, these two people do a lot of mischief. They steal guavas, etc. They don't have enough to eat even. They are so poor that unless they steal a few fruits from here and there, they do not have enough to eat. And their father is a keeper of dogs in the palace. He stays away from home in the capital and looks after the king's dogs. But when he comes to the village, he gives a lot of boasts about his great position. Of course, people believe him. But he doesn't send enough money home, therefore they have a problem. They are not able to live well. They are not able to feed themselves. And when he comes also, he spends off everything. In one of the trips, he brings this girl to Lahore because she's now growing up. She's very beautiful. Unlike her elder sister, who's ordinary looking, Jind or Jindan is very beautiful. And the father hopes that something good will come out of bringing this beautiful girl to the city so that he can earn something. She goes and pets the king's horse because she's very fond of horses. And the king spots her and takes her out quite a few times. But she's only 16 years old. So the king says, please wait. I will marry you certainly, but only when you are 18. So she goes back to her village and marries the king, or there is a proxy marriage. The king's sword comes and she comes here. But from the time she comes to the palace, she is ill-treated, especially by the first wife, who is the most important person here. And she is the mother of the future king, so she ill-treats her a lot. But then the king dies. Maharaja Ranjit Singh dies very soon when the baby, Jindan's baby Dilip, is very young, just a few months old. And then her real troubles start, because people don't want her. Everybody tries to protect her, to send her away so that she's not harmed. But unfortunately, the next king and his son also are killed, possibly by some political, mystery. Nobody knows what has happened to them. Nobody knows how they passed away. Of course, the son is not very good because he is constantly drinking, etc. Ranjit Singh ji had great faith in the grandson, but grandson is killed when a gate falls on him. Now the turn comes of Dilip, who's a young boy at this time. With a lot of conflict, he's put on the throne. But all the time, Raja Ranjit Singh was fighting with the British, keeping the British away from his kingdom, because he could name all the kingdoms in India which the British had taken away by force. He didn't want that for his kingdom. And constantly he was fighting. From childhood, he had fought and lost one eye. So this young boy, when he comes to the throne, it's very difficult to control. So for a little time, he sits on this throne. Suddenly, one day, the Britishers take him for a picnic, and then they imprison Jindan, keep her in a prison, and keep the son totally away from her. This little boy, he's so young, he keeps crying for the mother and all. But a British couple is given the responsibility. Slowly he changes his religion from Sikhism to Christianity. He becomes exactly like a British boy. And then they send him to England so that he has no contact with the mother. In the meantime, the mother somehow escapes with the help of some loyal people and goes to Nepal. 1 or 2 days, the Nepal king treats her well. Then he also doesn't treat her well. At this time, the first war of Indian independence, 1857, that also is described here. And after this, the boy says, I want to meet the mother. So he comes to Kolkata. At that time, Calcutta. And the queen also somehow manages to come to Calcutta. Both of them are brought to England by saying, if you want to be together, you must be in England. There also, Jindan has a lot of trouble. Now she's becoming old. Her eyesight is failing. And she dies there. Although the mother and son become very close, and the son becomes interested in his own ancestral religion, that is Sikhism. He keeps wondering till now he hero worshipped the British. Now he gets doubts. He has very close links with Queen Victoria, but he wants the Kohinoor back, the Kohinoor diamond which belonged to Maharaja Ranjit Singh has been presented to Queen Victoria. This little boy didn't know he gave it. Now he says how to get it back. Of course, it hasn't come back yet. And slowly, when the mother dies, he becomes more disillusioned. The mother says, do my last rites in India. Put my ashes next to my husband's. The son is not able to do any of these things because the Britishers do not give permission. Somehow he comes and immerses the ashes in Godavari because he's not allowed to go up north. Only up to Mumbai, Maharashtra, he's allowed to come. And then he gets married to a girl with whom he lives abroad. He is not allowed to come back to his kingdom. So the entire novel is about a very brave woman who comes from the lowest rung of society and becomes a powerful figure in the history of Punjab, although she's not able to do much to keep the heritage of her husband alive and to keep Punjab free from the British power, because the British take away the kingdom and they have all the power. The king's family, Maharaja Ranjit Singh's family, is not given any role here. And the youngest son, Dilip, who could have been a good king because he had such a brave mother, was not allowed to come back to Punjab at any time because the soldiers might rebel. In this way, Chitra Divakaruni has used the canvas of history and she's put beautiful colors to paint this story. This story is very recent, the novel, and you can easily get it in the bookstalls. If you get it and buy it and read, you will find that there is lots to learn, not only about the history and about this brave lady, but also the kind of English, the beautiful English she uses, interspersed with the Indian idiom. The entire Indian ethos is beautifully portrayed by her. Check it out and then let me know how you enjoy it. I hope you have liked the video. Please subscribe if you haven't done it. Press the bell icon so that you get notifications. Like and hype the video and share it as widely as you can. Join the channel as a member to attend all the live classes I conduct and also to get other benefits. Thank you and all the best.